Talk to you about the black struggle in America. We all know that the United States is a really diverse country, and that makes its beauty. But with this diversity, we can notice different cultures, different races, and different beliefs. And with all of that, we have a majority and we have minorities. So in my communication class here at the University of Louisville, we noticed a phenomenon called pluralism, being when the minorities group tend to use more the tradition than accommodating to the traditions of the majority group. And with that comes some problem, especially in intercultural communications. Intercultural communication have some barriers, such as stereotypes and racial assumptions. Racial assumptions are more seen as fact and not really relevant, and stereotypes are more seen as a racial categorization. Black people are often perceived in a way of servitude. With the history of slavery, black people are always linked with some type of servitude. So that's why in my communication class we also talked about an article called "I'm Her Mother, Not Her Nanny." It was a story about a black woman called or perceived as a nanny when she brought her child to class. And these types of actions are happening here in America almost every day, and it's permanent. So with all these perceptions come racism. So in my communication class we talked about different types of racism: institutional racism, cultural racism, and individual racism. But for me the most important of those three is institutional racism. Institutional racism is how institutions and how the system is made in place, such as in a way that doesn't favor the black community. For example, schools in black neighborhoods are not fully equipped and with low budget, and that plays a really important role in the education of those black folks and black children. Tell me, what do you think a child from those schools thinks 9 plus 10 is?
What's 9 plus 10? 21.
So do we really think that's fair? Do you really think a kid coming from that school is going to succeed in life? And then he will be most likely to be in the street selling drugs or doing some crimes. And then he will end up in jail, and then when he will go out he won't be able to find a new job. That's how the system works, and that's called institutional racism. Also, coming back to intercultural communication, isn't it how Oreos are born? Always trying to code switch, trying to follow the majority, because every time you are in a professional environment, you have to change your way of talking, you have to change the way you act. You just have to change your identity, and that's one of the problems of code switching. So what do you think about your intercultural communications? Like, how do you communicate with your other white friends, or how do you communicate in professional environments and things like that?
Well, making the transition from a professional environment to back home was a major role because you tend to sometimes bring your bad habits and the way you talk around your friends, communicate around them, and take that back home with you.
And how does that change you?
Well, it changes me because when I go back home, sometimes I may talk like I do on campus, so you kind of consider maybe lame because you talk proper and professionally.
Oh, so they are considering as an Oreo, right?
Exactly.
Whoa, that's bad.